G'day guys, it's Swala here. I'm just doing this short video just to help out a mate. It's just for a Trezor setup. I've done a short list here of things that is probably not a bad idea to just go through and just make sure everything is all above board. So first things first, order from an official dealer and find out where there is a local retailer in the country. So if you go to the Trezor website, you can go to the shop, and you can either buy any one of these here for how many euros there are, but you can also go to resellers and find out who's available in your country. So you can scroll through these guys and go directly to them and order more locally, and that might also keep a little bit of your detail probably off the actual Trezor website, so keep it local. So when it first comes in the post, you want to check the packaging to make sure that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. It's usually like wrapped up in plastic, and it's got like some sort of holographic tape on the outside. You want to make sure that that seems all above board and it's quite sticky and hard to open up. That will generally show that it's probably come directly from the retailer. Pull it out. Just prepare the device. There's a whole bunch of like sticky tape here and there, and you just fix it all up. Get some scrap paper and pen. Now, what I usually do, because I've heard about people buying these things off eBay and potentially like getting a seed phrase that's already pre-written out, given the false notion that everything is all above board and secure for people, I like to go out there and just do the first set of C words and just throw them away. So in point 4, I've written here, start first backup with the intent to never use the first set of C words. So it's probably just not a bad idea just to give that a try. That way you know how to reset the device. So yeah, the first set of words, they kind of mean nothing really anyway. So there's nothing wrong with just writing them down and then just resetting the device, and then that way that first set's gone. So get used to how the backup works and test out the pin numbers. So you'll go through the process when you officially plug it in. You'll go through and it'll tell you how to back up. It'll ask you to do a pin. You write all that sort of stuff down, and then you'll have to update the firmware. So it will go through all the firmware setup, and you want to basically get as much of that on as possible. So in this part here, get used to backup, how the backup works, and test out some pin numbers. It'll give you some suggestions as to trying to get the best types of pins out. While you're in this first set, the throwaway set, it's not a bad idea to go out there and practice how to work passphrases, because that way you'll have that extra little bit of confidence. That way you can throw away your first passphrase and throw away your first set of words, knowing that when you go in and do it properly, you'll be able to go in there happy that you know how to navigate around the system. So log in again with the passphrase and check the addresses. I like to just write down the first few letters on each address, and then basically you unplug it, and then you replug it in again, enter your passphrase. If it comes up with the same address, you know that it's all working correctly. And I mean, I'm probably just going a little bit too pedantic on this. Most people usually try to rush through this sort of stuff, but why not? I mean, you're going to be putting X amount of funds on this thing. You probably should try that little bit more effort to make sure everything's above board before you get started. It's recommended after you've done a little bit of practice, you can go out there and format the device, and it'll bring you up to a brand new Create Wallet setup. And so that once you actually do format the device, that's when it's probably time to start taking it a bit more seriously. And do your new backup, write them down as neatly as possible so that you can read it, and pick the pin that you're going to be happy with. and of course go in there, re-enable the passphrase settings again, and you can either set one passphrase, you can set two passphrases, you could probably go nuts and go and set 10 or 15 or whatever like that if you chose to, but start with one. Just start with one. You can always come back and start new ones anyway. So make backup copies. Try not to keep the passphrases in the same places where the C words are. And if you've managed to order some sort of like CryptoSteel type device, you can actually like put all your letters together and then lock it up in steel essentially. Some are where you can go and stamp them. There's some sort of washer on a nut, which sometimes people do. Some people, they just go and put little tiny metal letters into an actual frame and then bolt them together. So there's all different types of things which you can do. By this time, you should be happy that you should be able to receive some Bitcoin. I do recommend that most people should go out there and just generate a few addresses in a row, and that way they don't send all of their 20 transactions all to one address, because it's not a bad idea just for a bit of cleanliness and a bit of date keeping perhaps, to keep each sequential date in a new address. That way you know which one, where it came from, what purpose it was, and try to not lump all your transactions in one big address. As I said, try to use new addresses for each deposit. And you can keep a copy of the first few addresses handy. I like to do this just that way you don't have to whip your Trezor out every single time you want to get a brand new address. Because if you're constantly pulling it out and then plugging it back in and all this sort of stuff, not only are you one plugging it back into your computer every single time, but you are also it's better to kind of keep the device further away, so it's harder to go and grab it and unlock it. So that's not a bad idea. So if you keep a few addresses, that way you can get out every 5 addresses and go and get 5 new addresses after that. That way you can go and grab it less regularly. And one thing that I think some new people probably might take advantage of is the fact that you don't actually need to connect your Trezor to be able to send Bitcoin to it. If you already have an empty address and you know what it is, you can send to that disconnected Trezor. It doesn't actually need to be connected to the internet at the time to be able to receive Bitcoin. It will just arrive, and you'll be able to log on to your Trezor, a month later, and then see that it's there. The only point that I haven't written on here is when you're ready, it's time to go and run a node, because when you run a node, you basically have the blockchain in your house, and you can actually verify all this sort of stuff by yourself. So let's get on to it. So of course on the Trezor website, you want to go to trezor.io, so trezor.io, and you can either do a get your Trezor, which is basically to buy it, or I already own a Trezor. So if you click on that, and it will take you to this part here, and you can either nominate that you've got a Trezor 1 or a Model T. And so let's just do the Trezor 1. It'll show you here, check your holograms, make sure that everything's safe, and then it'll say continue to wallet. And then from here, it basically says right in the center here, connect your Trezor to continue. And so this is the point where you will go there, connect it, you update your firmware, and do your first setup. Ultimately, you probably don't necessarily want to be connecting to the Trezor website much after this, because if you are running your own node, you probably want to be just doing on your local system at your house, and so that way you don't need to send your data out to Europe and then back. It's just no point. So if you're setting up a local node here, you can keep it all in-house, and you can do all your transactions in-house. So I'll cut to the videos where I actually did the passphrase setup, and I also have a second video where I just quickly showed where the reset device is. Everything else from generating addresses, they're kind of in there, but I haven't gone through and shown all that sort of stuff, and I haven't sent any transactions to it because there's tons of other videos out there doing that sort of stuff. So I'm focusing more on setting up passphrases and resetting a device. Alright, thanks. Enabling passphrase on a brand new Trezor. Go to this button here, click on that. It's got all these basic settings here. You go to advanced, and you go down to here, you go click I understand for passphrase, and it highlights a little bit, enable passphrase encryption, and you go you click confirm on the Trezor itself, and you disconnect. Then you reconnect, and then you have to enter the PIN that you had. And then you enter the PIN. So the PIN is in there, and then what you do, please enter your passphrase using the computer's keyboard. So for this particular wallet, what I did was I had 2 pieces of text I was going to do throwaway because it's a throwaway wallet. So I just typed in throw, and I just go throw, right, and what it says, please enter your passphrase. Okay, so you press enter, confirm action. It says access hidden wallet, next screen will show your passphrase, and you go confirm, and then it shows throw on my screen, and I go confirm, and then it's checking up. Boom. So I got this is an account which you can access with passphrase, and so what I can do now is I can pull it up. I go forget, and then I gotta plug it back in again. Open up, and then punch in my PIN. Okay, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna say passphrase again. So I'm gonna do away, and I go enter, and that should, what it says, access hidden wallet, next screen will show the passphrase, and you go yes, and it says away, and you go confirm, and boom. And so what that will do is it'll end up giving me fresh addresses on each account. So this one says 3QGP, and this one says 3BUX, and the next one 3AI, etc, etc. So you should be able to have a new address, and every single time you just plug it in again, just enter the different password, and you could do multiple passwords. You could do 12 more passwords if you wish to, and then you'll be able to hide away heaps more. Just as an added feature, what I might do is I might also wipe this device, because as I said before, I want to get rid of this passphrase. I've got the seed and the passphrase here. I just want to wipe it. This is all data on this device will be deleted. That'll include pins and everything. And I go yes. There is no money. There's no Bitcoin on this thing at all. And now it has been wiped. Please disconnect now. And now it says create new wallet. So there we go. So this original seed phrase that it gave me is no longer in this Trezor anymore, and I will start fresh. That is one way that you can guarantee that you've got nothing left on there.